Good morning and welcome to a beautiful Tuesday. I am the Badass Buddha, Lori Monaco. Welcome to Viva Cafe con Leche. I am one of the most fabulous dynamic duos in morning show history. One of two.
Say it again. Say it again for the
One
people.
of the most fabulous dynamic host of a morning show in history. I am one, and my co-host is the other most fabulous and phenomenal. So I am your holistic practitioner. I'm a chiropractor. I am a teacher, speaker, coach, specializing in mindfulness-centered teachings, coachings, and workshops. I am a weight loss specialist, and I'm coming here from a very beautiful autumn, Southern Connecticut.
Oh, wow. We must be in different places. Hola, mi gente, aquí con la Margarita. Good morning, Tiffany, Brian, or Janice, and Milagros. I love when people just pop up like slut magic so
Yeah.
early in the morning. I am very cold here in Shelton, Connecticut. When I'm away living in my home in Tampa, Florida, I so miss autumn, and I miss the little cracklings into winter. And then when I'm here, I'm like, oh my God, I think I miss it more when I'm missing it from afar. And I just have a memory or an idea of it. But to be in the cold, marron me, it's not. But here we are. I am La Margarita, your gladiator guru. You know, I'm going to start up my wedding officiant and work it more, my wedding officiant and my ordained ministry, because I've been seeing a lot of people get married and I want to be a part of that. I don't want to get married, but I would love to celebrate in that unified love of two. So I'm going to start marketing that piece of me. I don't know yet, but I will soon. So remember, it doesn't matter where you are. I can marry you anywhere. So we'll talk about that. And then we have something coming up, right?
Well, we do, but I just want to reiterate something about your fabulous service. You know, this is something to come, and Gladiator Guru will give you more details on that at some point. But she's just not that. She's just not marrying you. It's a whole experience, and I think that's the most important thing, because people just go and they get married and they don't realize that being married is really like a business. And people don't like to look at it that way, because they're like, oh, it lose all the romance. And it's like, don't think of it. You can still be very romantic. It's just that you have to know that if you own a business, you have to be trained. You have to know what you're getting into. You have to have your eyes wide open. You have to think of all the possibilities, the good and the bad. And we tend not to do that when we get married. We have this, like, we're on this high of, this.
We're at this once
honeymoon
upon a
high.
time, this once upon a time mentality that is built on what? My favorite two words. They're built on assumptions and expectations. That is why before this, our generation X, there was arranged marriages that
Yeah.
lasted from beginning to end. Love is a bonus, but do what you love, because do it with passion. But first you got to figure that out, right? And then when you do it, you don't only do it because you love it. You got to work your ass off towards anything that you
Yeah.
do. If you're
Did you see
building a
what Henny wrote?
future
Did you see what
company.
Henny wrote? Did you
Oh
see?
my God, that's right. November 2nd, 21 years. Happy anniversary to my
Holy
daughter and
crap,
my son.
21 years. That's incredible. Happy anniversary,
Wow.
Henny and Tiffany.
Salud.
Cheers. Hot cup of
Salud.
coffee.
Felicidades. Enhorabuena.
Look at everybody saying happy
Yes,
anniversary.
21 years.
Oh,
I
look what he wrote. I'm still trying to figure it out.
yeah, because and as you
That's
should,
his humor. That was part of it.
but how difficult and how amazing at the same time is it for me, Margarita, to sit here thinking that I'm 21, to say that I have a daughter who's been married 21 fucking years. Maron. Like, what's going on? What's wrong with that picture here?
Oh my God. Well,
But
listen, you are fabulous. You are
my
fabulous.
son-in-law, Argenis, he's just my. I've met two angels on earth, and that's Argenis and Carmen Nieves. Like literally.
Oh, that's so nice. That's really nice. My
Yeah.
goodness.
Yeah. That's my baby. But yes, congratulations. Thank you everybody who wished my child. See, I spoiled Tiff, and then when he took over, he just did it with a little splash of gold. We can't complain about Tiffany and her bouginess because it was a creation of both Argenis and I. She don't need no more Louis Vuittons, Argenis, or Gucci bags. It's just no. No, let's Anaya and I create her, sew her a burlap bag, and we'll write all the name brands.
I,
But yeah,
oh, look
so
at him. Oh, I love you so much. That's so nice. It's a love fest
all
today.
he does, he'll text me out of the blue that he loves me or that he misses me, and that's what I know, you know. And that's my mantra. Is it me the mantra today?
You have the mantra today, yes.
It's you know, how do I want to say it? I had it in my mind, but then Henny made me mushy. Um, your moral compass. Keep your moral compass. Be true to who you are. And I don't know if the mantra's coming out right because I'm tired, and I asked the badass Buddha before the show, "What's yours?" so that I can get an idea of what mine's is gonna be. But when Henny says, when Henny to be loved in a way and respected, is because you must be true to your boundaries. So I keep my moral compass with me and I hold it tight. And sometimes I'm going to let you slide, maybe once, maybe twice, but I must be authentic as well. I must be true to who I am. So be true to who you are with your moral compass. Keep your values and stand firm in what you believe in. And I know my mantra's all over the place, but this is like my second sip of coffee this morning, man. I apologize.
And she was literally making it like right before we got on. That's why we're a
Mhm.
couple minutes late. So that's fine. She
Yeah.
needed it. I
Yeah.
needed it. And I was running late too. I had like a morning that was just crazy out of the ordinary. So we apologize, but we are here
No,
and
we
we
don't.
are
No, we
fabulous.
don't.
Okay, we don't apologize. You're right.
My mouth
We
is
were
all
on
over
time.
the place.
We were
Bottom
on
line
time.
is, let's take the title of mantra out, and let me just say what I'm going to say. Stand firm in what you believe in. Okay, stay true to who you are, and you know what? We can always bend like the branches of the tree in the wind to learn, to observe, but if just keep your boundaries. The badass Buddha this morning was saying how her dog didn't have boundaries. And I thought,
Yeah, just
how
walks right in.
awesome is that? Because some dogs really know their place, and other dogs who just want to, attention, seek attention. It
Yeah.
doesn't necessarily have to be positive attention. And that's what that is. And sometimes we gotta bend like the branches of the tree in the wind. Exactly like that. Because you know what? There's a time and place for everything, but stay firm with your core values. And if you do that, you're gonna always walk in like a breath of fresh air. You're gonna always be true. You're gonna be loved for who you are and what you stand for, not what you can provide for someone. Namaste.
Camille says, "My dog has no boundaries up my ass every minute." Yeah, that's my whole family really is like even the dogs, even the chinchilla. The chinchilla wants attention. You walk by the cage and the chinchilla's like smack against it, like, please, like pet me.
Look
So
at
I have a whole needy family that
yeah, but Chanel, my son-in-law breeds beautiful bullies. I'm not even gonna butcher what they are. But when it's time for the bathroom, they'll know. They'll walk through the house like they're royalty, especially Blueface. They'll look at you like whatever, don't look at me. And then if you seem a bit interesting at that moment, they'll come up to you and sniff you. But then they just like I'm telling you, royalty. Then they'll walk right to where they have to walk to. I
Are they
couldn't do it.
carrying their Louis Vuitton bag at the same
I'm
time?
sure that Shea Butter and Mila will have something. My dog Blueface, yeah, he is. But don't let nobody come in with the glove on. he he
Oh
loves
my God, that's funny. My blue faced baby is an asshole. I love that. And I have an asshole dog too. He's a sweetheart of a dog, but he's really got very bad social skills. So when he's out walking, He barks at people and other dogs. He's very friendly, but he doesn't come across that way. So everybody thinks he's like vicious or annoying. But he is. He's got this like real asshole personality. I say to him all the time, would you stop? Like, they don't understand that you want to say hi to them, the way he's like lunging on the leash. And then when you let him go up to everybody, he's like wagging his tail and he's all happy and sweet and kind. And he's like playing with the dog. But to get there, he's like such a like a DB, like total
But you
douchebag.
know
Like,
what? But that's how people are. See how and I think we learn from dogs too. He's letting people know, okay, I'm gonna protect where I'm at right now, but smile and I'll be there. But like Blueface, yeah, he thinks he owns the house because that he's treated like royalty, like Tiffany. Okay, so say the truth,
like
Janice.
Tiffany.
Okay, but you see how
I
Frankie
didn't say it, Tiff. Your mom's comparing you to the dog. So
Frankie, he has that. He puts that out there at first, but then to me, it's like he's preventing being bullied. Like, yeah, I'll bite you, but deep down I'm this. And what is Frankie teaching us? Don't judge a book by its cover.
okay,
Sometimes
that's
those
such a
days.
nice, you're so nice, Gladiator Guru. I still just look at him like he's being a douchebag. So he's without judgment. It's a total observation. It's not a because I know him and it's not judgment. It's an observation. But you know what though? Actually, he is a representation of who I was at the time when he was um, being raised as a puppy. It's very interesting for animals, especially dogs, to um, where you are in your life really is most of the time, not all the time, but it mostly shows in the dogs at that moment in time. Like, so when he was a baby, we were all working all the time, so he was home a lot, and he's very needy, he's very barky, and he had no structure whatsoever, and I was all over the place. But my other dog, my big girl, she's 4, and she was at a time when I was like fully invested in her. And I was like, okay, I don't want this dog to be one of those dogs that takes off, because my little one, you open the door and he's gone, but he comes back, but he's still gone. Um, I wanted a dog that would just stay in the yard and wouldn't leave and would just hang out with my littlest child. And this is exactly what my 4-year-old does. You let her out loose, she just chills out in the yard. She doesn't leave the boundaries usually. Every so often she'll see something that is exciting to her, but it's very rare. But when my daughter goes out, she's like always in the vicinity near my daughter. So if my daughter goes to the front yard, she goes to the front yard. My daughter goes to the backyard. So that's exactly what I wanted. But um, so how does this all tie into our conversation today, the Great Pretender? Well, because we're going to be talking about being authentic, and even our pets have their own authenticity, but
Mhm.
it is a reflection of our authenticity at that time. So but it's not just the pets, your children, your grandchildren, anybody that's influential to you that you're around can gravitate towards your energy, whether it's good energy or bad energy.
Mhm.
So let's talk about that. So the intention for today, since Gladiator Guru did her mantra already, the intention is today we're going to set forth just the fact that we are going to be in love with who we truly are, our most authentic self, no matter where we are. Okay. We're not going to sit there and judge ourselves. We're just going to we're going to accept ourselves for today, who we are, and love ourselves. If you want to make changes going forward, then you make the change, but you have to acknowledge who you are, and you can't be ashamed of who you are. So you're going to love, the intention for today is to love who you are today, the most authentic version of yourself today, and then you can always strive for better.
I
Okay.
love that. I love that. We don't even, let me tell you, aside, good morning, Gwen. Aside
Good
from
morning, Gwen.
loving ourselves, we don't even entertain the thought to be in love with ourselves. And for everyone who joined the Badass Buddha and I Friday night at Ajusta Tu Corona's Masquerade Gala, thank you. Um, we spoke on it yesterday when we met for lunch. How beautiful the event was,
Yes.
powerful in its own right. The speakers were just extraordinary.
Yes, they were
Um,
phenomenal.
the dance coming in, people are probably like, why we're dancing coming in, at the realization that you were walking in like the queen that you are, like a queen when she walks in a space, it's just her walking
Yes.
through with her housemaids or whatever the hell they're called. And every time the song said "Ajusta tu corona," we had to go like that, like adjusting our crown.
Although I didn't adjust, I was too focused on the arm.
And so, so I thank you as part of the Ajusta tribe, and then the both of us thank you because I think we all had a takeaway from that. And so that
Here's my takeaway, Gladiator Guru. My takeaway was there was way too few women there. I mean, this was a beautiful event. The decor was beautiful. Like Gladiator Guru said, the speakers were phenomenal. And you know what? There was it was a great crowd. The women that were there were phenomenal. But technically, and I'm going to should here, I'm going to should on everybody. It should have been double in size because this is a celebration. It was a celebration of you as a woman. And we
yeah.
need more of those things. We need to be around more of that, you know, and it doesn't have to just be a Usa tu Corona. It could be, you know, next year you join in, it's going to be in a different location. That's the cool part, gives you an excuse to go on vacation. But it's anything that's female empowerment. We can't hear it enough. So support those things. Look for those events, even if they're virtual. Just join them so that you could get those boosts. And maybe the tribe that you sit in on might not be your exact tribe. No judgment. You just say, you know, I'm going to try another one, but try multiple because the energy was so fabulous at this at the event. And I had such an amazing time, and I brought my middle daughter with me, and Iritza, good morning, and Iritza was there with her little tribe, and Chanel was there with her little tribe, and of course Francia was there because Francia was a co-host. But it was just really phenomenal. It was phenomenal to see everybody dressed up and just laughing and having a good time and dancing a little bit. And so, you know, any reason to celebrate, especially with what we have gone through over this last, like, you know, 16 months. So anything that's coming up in, you know, within the next 6 months, if you could go, make it happen. If you can't afford that ticket, manifest the money so that you can go, because it's important for you to get out there and feel the energy of all these other phenomenal women. So, and there's Delilah. Good morning, Delilah. I just so love that name. That was actually going to be one of my choices for my youngest daughter was Delilah. So I absolutely love that name.
Dalila. That's what
Oh,
it is in
Dalila is pronounced that way? Okay.
Dalila.
But
Yeah.
it would have been spelled differently with, it would have been like, I guess, the English version, which was with an H,
But
D-L-I.
is that the real way you spelled it? Samson and Delilah with the H?
I don't know. I didn't really know them, so I'm not really sure how she spelled it.
All right. They were wonderful people. Maybe once you should
Oh my
meet
God.
them. But yeah, all that. Let me tell you something.
Oh,
Pick.
yes. Look at what Milagros wrote. Yes, absolutely.
Yes. Well, we are. Listen.
Good morning,
It's
Alicia.
limitless. There's no limit as to what we can do. It's what we want to push through on the back. But yeah, we Milagros. No te preocupes, Milagros. I need to get in touch with you because they gotta mail you something that you won at the event. So anyway, yes, let's you know, Mary Kay taught me it's God, me, then everybody else. And as women, I don't know, the guilt feeling of being selfish, you know, the self-centeredness that we feel we need to shine on every other family member but ourselves. When you do not love yourself, when you do not value who you are in all your glory, meaning all the negative side and the positive side, because you know what? We all have both sides. You know, we're going to be happy one day. Without the tears and rain, there's no sunshine, there's no joy. So we need to do both, right? So what happens when you do not value who you are? Who are we being ungrateful for? For my people who believe in God and believe that God breathes life into us every day. Every day that we are awakened, but we don't value who we are not valuing our Lord. and we're not valuing that we are giving another day to make things right, to make things great, to fall on our face and learn another lesson. So remember, love yourself, trust yourself, cultivate that garden of joy, leave a little bucket to collect all the tears so that then you can water your harvest, because everything has a purpose. So it starts with you, not me being your friend or being your mother or being your sister or your cousin. It starts with you. So let's get it right. Thank you, Milagro, for that. Viva Cafe con Leche will be going in different directions. Um, but
In a
it's
good way, in a good way, not like different directions, like we're splitting up, that's it, we're
no,
done.
no. She said
In a
we need to do
really,
a
yes,
brunch.
in a really,
I'm still talking about the brunch part. There's no negativity, and it's gonna happen. But everything has its timing. So, palante. I'm cold. Go ahead.
so let's talk about our conversation today, because this has been coming up. I've been on a lot of different like workshops, or like I've been listening to women speakers, and this has been coming up a lot, the idea of imposter syndrome. So we titled today The Great Pretender, which was so much more catchy than imposter syndrome. But that's what it's about. And there's two sides to this conversation. It is about, we feel that we are an imposter. And this is really especially prevalent with women in business, but it could still be in your personal life, where we don't feel that we are the things that we're claiming ourselves to be. And so that people are going to find out that this is not who I really am. Oh, you come across as this really strong-willed, wonderful person, and but deep down inside you're not really, and you're worried that somebody's going to find out. But in business, it's that's even more so, because whatever services we're providing, we think in our heads that, oh my God, somebody's going to find out that I really don't know what the hell I'm talking about, and there's somebody that's so much better. But the other side of that is, when we actually do look at some of these individuals that we are intimidated by, you have to understand going in that a lot of them really are the great pretenders, and not in a bad way. It's just that I have really, Gladiator Guru and I've talked about this, and we've noticed this with a lot of social media and a lot of things that we do, is not everybody is what they make themselves out to be. And it's not a bad thing. It's just, sometimes in business, you kind of have to create a persona, because it will give you, what's the word I'm looking for, Gladiator Guru? It gives you, um the like, people will trust that you know what you're talking about. But life is a learning process. So even if you're a coach, let's say, you're not going to know everything there is to know and be able to help every single person out there. You're literally learning as you go, and then you experience something with somebody, and then you use that to help somebody else, or you experience something with yourself, or you read something, or you learn something. So I've become very, not pessimistic at all, but I've become very open with my viewing of certain things in social media, where um, I don't doubt that the person has what they have, or is capable of doing what they're doing. But I always say to myself that if they can do that, I can do that, because that may not be the whole picture. Nobody's going to want to say and I've seen this numerous times. I've seen individuals state that they are millionaires, that they live a millionaire lifestyle, that they have this following, blah, blah, blah. And then actually, I know some of these people, and I know that's not true. But if that's what they want to attract in their business, they can't say, well, I'm a broke ass and I'm still finding my way, and I'm in debt up to my eyeballs, but I'm working myself out. No high dollar person is going to turn around and go, oh, I want to work with you. And I give them the leeway for that, because we all start from something. It's just like starting your own business and saying, people say, oh, how good is your product? Oh, my product is phenomenal. I have testimonials of people that love it. And meanwhile, the people that love it are your family members, because you said you have to take this and you have to say in the testimonial it's good, even though it really is good. So it's two sides that we're going to talk about. But let's start off with how we feel about ourselves, that we believe ourselves to be imposters. What's your take on that, Gladiator Guru?
Um, I was still stuck on what you were saying. On social media, I think social media, it's some people are honest, other people don't know where they're at, so they adapt certain things. Um, I think we all can be imposters because of what society deems. I'm sorry, I'm sitting on my sweater and I'm trying to take it off. Um, so I think that at some point we all can be imposters, and it doesn't need to be in a negative way. It's just sometimes we need to pretend we are somewhere in order for the rest of us to follow. The rest of us, like I need this to tell me that I'm a size 7, so that this and this can follow.
Yes, I agree. It's like fake it till you make it, in other words, is what you're
Yeah,
saying
and
in a way.
it's not being an imposter, because since being here I haven't followed my eating, and then you notice all the body disruptors when you eat what you shouldn't. That's another thing. But when I was home, and I started working with the fat eviction specialist, that's exactly what I said. I want to lose at least 2 pounds a day for the first week, because then it goes down to 1 pound, and it was working. And because I said it and I wrote it right over my monitor, my desktop monitor, I put it in the bathroom mirror, so like I saw it on my refrigerator. And then guess what? How much was that first week loss? Was it like 9 pounds?
Yes. Yeah.
And so when you have to do that, when it's just to smoke screens, I say, right? Is that what I'm trying to say? You put smoke screens on yourself and your reality because it's doable. So if I say it, then I gotta follow it. But am I posting it? I don't know. I only have 1 cup of coffee. You go first. I don't want to seem like an imposter.
Well, first let's talk about that you're no way. Like, I'm gonna tell you that. Like, you are the total opposite of that. Gladiator Guru is exactly who she says she is. There's no question about that. She is probably the most forthcoming, honest, authentic individual I know of. So, but what we're trying to say is that, sometimes you you don't need to let everybody know who you are necessarily, especially if you're building up, but you have to believe who you are or who you could be. So if you say, I'm not like this great person that everybody thinks I am, and they're going to find out and I'm going to be screwed and blah, blah, blah. The question comes into play is, why do you, number one, why do you feel that way about yourself? And number two is, if you really believe that, then what can you do to change that? Why is it that someone sees something of you on the outside, but you're saying that there's something else on the inside? A lot of times we are incorrect in our belief. Like, I second guess myself all the time with all my education. And, a lot of people could look at me and go, oh my God, she has a doctorate and blah, blah, blah. She must know everything, right? Because it's a title, and it was an expensive title. But even with all the education, I second guess myself. I question my authoritative ability. And I don't mean it in a like I'm an authority, I don't mean it in that way. I mean that I know that I'm knowledgeable, because I will meet people that seem to know what they're talking about, and they have no education background. They just know their shit. And I sit and I sink back a little bit and go, boy, they know, more than I do. And oh, the people are going to find out that I'm a fraud and I don't know this. And it's that story that we play in our heads. And it's a story that's false. And it's a story that's been around for a long period of time. And it's the story that we need to get it the fuck out of our brain, because it doesn't need to be there anymore. If I feel that I don't know something and I meet somebody that knows more than I do, then what is my best action is to say, well, why don't I know that? If that person said that, and I feel like I should have known that based on my background, what can I do about that? And it's to learn it. So
Mhm.
when you start questioning that you think you're a fraud, that you think that you're an imposter, question number one, where it's coming from, and if it's even true. And then if you even think it is remotely true, then what can you do about it to match the outside story?
What can you do about it? First of all, you don't owe, if you're we always talked about nunca, no te engañes, don't lie to yourself. And if you're true to who you are and you say you're going to do something, this is, people think when I say I'm going to do something, and then, I'll just say, and then people expect it to be right away. Oh, I thought you were going to do this. I thought you were going to do that. And I used to be like, why are you all up in my business? And now I'm just like, whatever, because people will consider you a fake, an imposter. Oh, she's always talking, right? Is that what am I following the thread here? Am I fully waking up?
Yes.
But the thing is that when when we say we're going to do something, or even when we share it with our family, I'm not even talking about social media. Okay. So let's bring it in to
Yep.
even when you're speaking with your friends and family about something, that an idea or something you're going to do, but then right away they label you for whatever reason. And then you start doubting yourself because they're like, oh, what happened? I thought you were going to do this. Because anybody who has family like me, that's what they say. Oh, what happened? I thought you were going to do this. What's going on? Right. And they're waiting on you to do something. But what are they doing?
Nothing.
They're doing nothing. They're waiting on you. So then they get upset because you're not doing what you said you were going to do on their time. And the thing is, I'll say I'm going to do something and I do it, but I do it on my time.
Correct.
I don't like to be rushed. I don't like to be pressured. And it's nobody's damn business when I'm going to do what I'm doing. So what I learned to do is not say what I'm going to do, right? I'll say I have an idea, but I don't say if I'm going to follow through until I've already begun the project and I see an end date. And it's not for them. It's more for me, because we do need, no matter how strong we are, we can fail and become imposters, because sometimes we need to be held accountable, right? So sometimes you do share or whatever. I hope I'm on the right track when I tell you that I'm like, I was up late. But all the same, we wanted to talk about this because we are and can be imposters in our own lives, correct?
Yes.
And it's okay, because it's just like those rainy, thunderous days to then see the rainbow afterwards. Sometimes we need to be in our darkness and just feel all the shit we've been feeding ourselves, and then to be like, oh, I don't want to be this anymore, I don't want to do this with this, and then flip it. Not all the time, but there's sometimes we gotta bring brought back. I don't know about us. What do you think?
You're so
Because you know what, you
cute.
gotta, we're all imposters. How about when we walk into family events and we don't like that cousin or that aunt's just a bitch, always picking on us. And we still got to put that smile, right? Hey, bendición. Mwah. You know?
But see, but listen, here's the deal with that though. See, you were hitting it in the fact that being your authentic self, knowing your true self. If you're walking into that family get together and you are pretending to be a certain way, but no, you're not, but you're doing it purposefully. Like you're saying, I'm doing this to keep the peace or to not cause issues. So I'm going to just go along with this and pretend. But that's okay as long as you know why you're doing it, to save whatever yourself or whatever, like
Mhm.
but it's those moments where you doubt yourself and say, God, wait, what if they find out that I'm really like a fake, like I don't really know what I'm talking about, but really you do know what you're talking about. It's just you let your insecurities come in and second guess you. And then it doesn't help when other people, like Gladiator was talking about, on the outside telling you, oh, you said you were going to do this and you didn't do this yet. And then you start doubting yourself going, oh my God, maybe they're right. Maybe I'm just like a talker and a failure and blah, blah, blah. And don't believe all that bullshit. That's what it comes down to, is that um, you are capable of many fabulous things. You have to own your authenticity. You have to own your truth and know that you can always keep making yourself better. So if you walk into something and say, oh God, if they find out that I really don't know what I'm talking about, again, question yourself. Is it true that you really don't know what you're talking about and you're pretending to know? Or are you just saying that because you're doubting yourself? Doubting yourself, you just got to get out of your own damn way and kick yourself in the ass.
When
But if
you
you really don't know and you're pretending, then fucking learn it. Then don't pretend as if you're questioning it. Like I knew I well, no, go ahead, Gladiator Guru.
No, I
This
just
is
wanted
your
to say, now that I have a thought, that it's not even so much about learning it, but it's what you say, get out of your way. When you're so negative and you pretend to be authentic, or you pretend to be realistic, and you pretend to be all about this, then it doesn't matter how many teachings, how many trainings, how many learning tools you may have. If you don't change your thought patterns, if you don't change your outlook on life, if you don't change how you view yourself, you're never going to learn anything. You're always going to be a negative Nelly, and you're always going to be the person that I don't want to deal with, that I'm going to run from, because I don't need that type of energy in my life. And I've known so many people that all they do, and it's like they're always like, you know, what's that word I'm looking for? They're always spiraling right up their assholes, and I don't care to follow. And that's when the negativity is constant. So you know what? It's about changing your thought process, like the badass Buddha said in the beginning, and then learning and accepting yourself. And then when you look out your windows, you're going to see sun-filled days. When it's raining, you're not going to see gloom. You're going to see growth, because that rain is feeding our earth. It's feeding the ground. It's feeding the flowers and the trees. You're going to see growth in that. It's feeding the animals. So no gloom, but growth. But until you change that mindset, you're going to always be an imposter in your life. And then when you're an imposter in your own life, you're a pain in the ass in everybody else's.
Yep.
Carry on.
I agree. You know, this comes down to the fact that this is about you. I mean, this is, we're so worried all the time when we see people on, and social media's got to be the worst. It really contributes a lot to this, because we're looking at what people have and what they're doing, and we're thinking to ourselves, God, I don't do any of that stuff. And so when I tell people that I've got this together and I've got that together, and then I look at what they're doing, and you compare, and we have to stop that. You know, I mean, I'm going to share something with you that, not personally, specifically, what I'm saying is that I was invited to speak at a summit, and it was by this guy, and he presented himself to be like this really like high followed individual, and blah, 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 you know. So I jumped on the summit to speak, and a lot of these summits you have to pay to speak. Like, they'll give you a specific slot time, and it costs this amount of money. So I paid it, you know. But then I started to really look at his social media, and I'm seeing that he had hardly any followers, and and I thought, that's interesting. And I questioned it, and he gave me something. Well, I rebranded and I redid this and blah, blah, blah. I'm starting from scratch. And he did say he was starting from scratch. So I got that piece of it. Right. But the pictures he was posting were really interesting, because like, he was talking about the law of attraction, and he was talking about what he manifested in his life and blah, blah, blah. And he's teaching people how to do that. And he would take pictures of himself in front of like these hot looking cars, like Porsches and Mercedes, and these expensive houses. And I started to pay attention. I'm thinking, why is he taking pictures with so many cars? Like, that he owns all those cars, you know? And I realized that he was just, whenever he would see a car, he would take a picture of himself in front of the car. When he was in front of the house, like, he wasn't in the house. And actually, I think there might have been a couple where he was in the house, but it could have been somebody else's house. You know, who the hell knows? So I started to really become aware of that. And it opened me up to the idea that, okay, some people do pretend. And I wasn't frustrated by it, or I didn't like hold it against him and be real pissed off. It was more like, it made me feel a little bit better, because I'm looking at that going, why the hell does he want me on his summit? Because like, I'm not over where he is. I'm not at his level, because of what he was presenting himself to be. And then I'm second guessing myself, because, you know, I'm thinking, well, I'm not there yet, so why would he want me here? When I actually did the summit, I was listening to a lot of what he was saying, and in my head, I'm going, that's exactly what I say. That's not like anything different. And then I became friends with another woman that was on the summit, and I loved her talk, and she loved mine. And we both were talking afterwards, and we're going, was it just me, or was it like, did it seem like he was like sort of grabbing everybody's information and regurgitating? She's like, yeah, I kind of got the feeling like that too. So again, it was more observation. I wasn't trying to judge, but it was more of an observation and more of a realization, and it reaffirmed to me that I have to be more respectful to myself and not as hard on myself, because that's what we do when we believe that we're an imposter. We're being really hard on ourselves, because again, we could be playing a story that's not true.
Well, I thank you for sharing that, because there's several things I got out of that. And it's true. You know what? When you compare yourself and your value and your authenticity to material things that others may have, it's going to put a damper on everything you feel. I think that this right here, while you second guess, not you, badass Buddha, while one second guess their value because they don't have the savings in their account, they don't own that Louis Vuitton bag, or that Mercedes truck that I want, then we feel we haven't made it. But that I believe that what we speak has so much value, more than people and their facade of what makes them, um what's that word I want? Successful. Success is that we get up and we show up, and then people will. But let me tell you something. Although this guy regurgitated everything all of you said, you got to get him. You got to give him credit. You got to give him credit that he got up and says, "I need to learn more," and he's hustling. That's what you do in business. You hustle. Macy's and Gimbals were right across the street from each other back in the day. And one of them came after. One of them said, "Oh shit, they're getting all the business on that corner. I need to open up on this corner." And same department store. One might have carried 2 or 3 items different from the other on whatever different floors, but they sold predominantly the same merchandise, right? With different salespeople. So you got to look at these people, this guy, and says, that was a smart cat. What did I learn from him while he was taking things from me? What you learn is that when you don't have the platforms, when you don't have the money to be in all these trainings and taking up all these courses and paying for a job coach, you do it this way. And then this way you build your empire. And it's not stealing, because we are giving it out for free right now. Is it annoying? Hell yeah. Because you know why it's annoying? Not because, damn, he took my whole sentence and changed a word or two, but it sounded so much different coming from his vocal cords. And it's not so much like, damn, he just took my shit. It's, damn, why didn't I think about that? And if we look at it that way, there's not so much of, ugh, they took my stuff that I didn't even think about. Because when we don't value ourselves, then we don't value the information we're giving out. And the badass Buddha gives out information all the time. We're constantly here with guests, and we're sharing. And we do this every Tuesday and Thursday, knowing that people are taking notes and that they're going to go sound very smart with somebody who doesn't watch our show. And that's okay, because we come out saying what we say. There's a whole ocean full of more words that we get to pick at every Tuesday and Thursday and share. We share it in our life coaching sessions. We share it when we speak out on forums, and the badass Buddha speaks on a lot of podcasts. And we do that. And it's okay. When you do that, do it and listen. When you're speaking, listen to, and listen, look at people's like the badass Buddha. She's like, oh shit, let me get some sun in my face. She's still talking. See, that's how you can perceive what she just did.
No,
But
there was something that drove by really loud, and I was like, what the hell is that sound? It was the weirdest sound.
and listen to what you're saying and write your own damn notes on the things you just said, because I say some shit and I'm like, damn, that sounded good. What did I say? Because as soon as I said it, I forget. Take notes when you speak and put Margarita, speak. And then if Lori's next, you put Lori. What does she say? And if Tom, Dick, and Harry spoke afterwards, you write down what they said. And then you form a story for your next speech, for your next presentation, for the next time you're on a platform. Because you're not plagiarizing, you're learning. And when you're learning, you're picking and choosing what words flow effortlessly from your tongue, that then you start feeding it into yourself and you grow in that capacity. So it's about, people will put on a show, all these name brands, whatever. But it's all about okay, I've lived that imposter life before. I faked it till I made it. Well, I'm making it in my own lane, and my own right, in my own damn spotlight. And no, I don't have name brands because I am my brand. And you'll be fine. Go ahead.
So exactly, you make it yours. If you First off, again, it's a reminder that you are, whatever you're thinking about yourself, that you are not worthy, and you don't know as much as another person, and people don't really know me, and if they only knew the real me, they would be so disappointed. Most of that is such
I
bullshit.
never thought that. People
No,
think
but
that,
you're a rarity though.
but people
You're,
think that.
yeah,
Whoa.
absolutely. I
I'd be
thought I
like, if
thought
they
of it
don't
for
like me,
years.
fuck them. That's always been my mantra.
Yeah,
If they
but
don't like
that's why you are the gladiator guru, and that's why I love you, because you've always been unapologetically you. That's been phenomenal, and especially with what you've gone through. A lot of people take the traumas that you've been through, and they crash. They value themselves based on those traumas, that they're worth nothing. You took the total opposite route, and not that nobody does that. There are people that do that, but I would say probably majority of the people do not. And especially with women, we do tend to second guess ourselves. We do believe that we are less than, and so we go through our life that way, and then we attract people and situations in our lives that follow suit with that. And that's why it's really important for you, once again, to just really take stock in who you are, and really question the story that you play in your head. If you say I'm an imposter, like, people really, if they only knew the real me, first of all, who then what are you talking about? Who is the real you? What are you
who is?
saying? That you're nothing? Okay, the question is why do you think that way? And again, is it a bullshit story that you're telling yourself? And then if you do feel like, oh, I'm not as smart as anybody else, then do something about it. Just learn, go out and educate yourself. It doesn't have to be a formal education. It could be any way you want to educate yourself. It's just a matter of owning it. It's being true to yourself, being authentic, and saying, all right, you know what? This is who I am. Like it or not, this is who I am. And if you don't like who you are, you know where your starting point is, and then you can change that, you know. But it's always good to, I mean, in the end, it's always good to just question yourself. Why are you having this thought? Like, why are you thinking that? Why would you think that you are less than? Is it somebody told you that for years? And then who says they're right? That's the other thing, you know? I mean, I could see if you went up to a doctor and you said, well, okay, so doc, I think this is the diagnosis, and I'm going to go in with you into the surgery, and I'm going to take over while you stand there and you watch me do the surgery. Okay, that's a little different. That's definitely imposter.
Boundaries. There's
Yeah,
boundaries.
exactly, right? But that doesn't mean, though, that you can't be proactive and say, I'm going to actually look up this disease, and I'm going to learn about it, and I'm going to learn about all the treatments available, and I'm going to understand it. And then when you walk in, you say to the doctor, well, doctor, this is what I understand. This is what I learned. And you share it. And you're not pretending to be a doctor, but you damn straight are going to take charge of who you are, and whether it's for you, your own health, or somebody else that you love. And that's not being an imposter. That's stepping up and being your authentic self, and not being pushed down to say that you are less than, no matter who you're speaking to.
Absolutely. That was wonderful. You know,
Thank you.
we'll learn Emily Dickinson's little phrases, Socrates. We learn Rumi, the little quotes, Oprah Winfrey's Mel, what's that lady, Melissa Brown
Mel,
or
Mel Robbins.
Mel Robbins, and then the other one, um, the one who speaks about vulnerability. I mean,
Brene Brown.
the list can go on. That we can all use quotes from them, or you know, a song. Cher, I love Cher. That's my bitch. So I know I'm strong enough, and I believe, and we learned the lyrics. How about we put out a task today?
Mm,
Write the lyrics. You already got the beat. You already got the little harmony. So write the lyrics to the sound of your heartbeat. What does your
mm.
heartbeat sound like? Well, Right. Create, even if it's one line, create a lyric that best describes you in all your glory. So I don't care where you were. I don't care if you're still on the seesaw of where you are, but I think you should have a little vision, if not crystal clear, but a vision of where you want to be. Write that lyric and live it. So the task today is write the lyrics to the sound of your heartbeat. Listen. And if you don't know what your heartbeat sounds like, you need to shut the hell up. You need to sit still, close your eyes, clear your thoughts, and then that's where you'll be introduced to that beautiful melody that has carried you since birth that you ignored. Though, again, it's expectations and assumptions. When we allow that to guide and navigate for us, we're gonna never be satisfied with who we are. We're gonna always be judgmental towards what other people worked for and have received. We're gonna question who's real and who's not because of what they got and where they've been, because we're still sitting in our own shit hoping for a better day, but doing nothing to get there. So don't accuse other people of being imposters if your ass isn't doing anything to deserve the oxygen you're breathing. And that might sound kind of harsh, but it's a reality for many that they just get up and do the same mundane things all day, criticizing, having road rage, doubting and accusing people because they might look a little skinnier than me, like, oh, that bitch got plastic surgery. No, she probably walks 5 days a week, you know. So that ass can't be real. It's too perfect. I don't know. Let me touch it. I mean, this just, you know what? There's just so many things to life that you can turn that negative into a laughter and not be so pokey with your judgments, because we all have our fake days, our mean days, our leave me the fuck alone days, our oh my god, everybody, because it's a beautiful morning. Everybody wants you to shut up. We all have those days. And what's your job when you have either one of those days? Love yourself through it. Don't pretend to yourself. Don't lie to yourself. Whatever it is you're going through, don't make it better. Don't make it worse. Just be in your moment. And you know what? You got to work on you. We're probably always going to judge, because I haven't met not one person who isn't judgmental. The freaking Pope be judging. That's why he can pick sides. Okay? So you're either using Scott or Charmin. There's a decision to be made in everything. You're using Ivory soap or you're using Dove soap. There's a decision. When you have to make a decision, I'm sorry about that. Just make a decision you're going to be proud of for the rest of that day. And like that, you don't have to fake the navigations of pretense. If you want to take a picture in front of a Mercedes, you know what? Give credit to the Mercedes person. I don't have a Mercedes. I drive a Toyota Scion. Love my little toaster as it's riding down the street.
Toaster.
But you know what? Do I want a box? The Jeep Mercedes? Yeah. Do I want a Gladiator Jeep Wrangler? Yes. Can I afford it? Not right now. Not today. But who's not to say in 5 years from now? When they went down. When they went down in price, because they're like very expensive, both of them. But you know what? It's not because of the name. I love square cars. That's why I've held on for 11 years to my Scion, because it's square, and everything else has been having that curve, that roundedness to it that I don't like. So yeah, you know what? It's okay if you're having an imposter syndrome day. Check yourself. Write it down. Tomorrow morning, go back to what you wrote down last night and say, okay, we gotta avoid this route. We're not taking this street today. What can I do different?
Yes.
Because you're the only one in charge of your life. You're the only one responsible for you. Don't get mad at me. Don't get mad at the badass Buddha. Don't get mad at Desiree and Iritza because you failed to do something today. Why? Because maybe we called or we didn't call. No, be mad that you weren't decisive on how you were going to start your day. Because when you hold yourself accountable, guess what? You're going to get that shit right next week. But again, badass Buddha, is it not okay to have those days?
Of course. Because we do. I mean, I really even find it hard to believe that half these really big wig people don't have a day or two that they, like Tony Robbins doesn't have a day or two. I mean,
He does say it though. He says
does he?
it.
I've never heard him say it, but I will tell you that Mel Robbins says it. And Mel Robbins, this is a woman. She came out with a post, a YouTube post over I think it was, I forgot when it was, in 2020. And she said it was the first time in 7 years she had an anxiety attack. And it was because of everything that was happening and all the changes. And she thought that she was over it. She thought that she was past it. And same for me. I thought I was over my depression. Actually, I don't like calling it I thought I was over depression. And, over the summer, it started to rear its ugly head again. It wasn't, I'd like to say it was sort of standing outside the door, and every so often would step into the foyer, but it wouldn't quite make it into the house, not like it used to be, because I used to live with it. It used to sit right next to me, hang out with me, just like Chenille's dog followed her. My depression would follow me next to me. So it wasn't like that, but I became very aware of that. It was just kind of hanging out, just like sitting there.
It was chilling. It was one of those guests that stay longer than 3 days.
Yeah, and if I didn't do something about it, it was going to easily just sneak right in. And before I knew it, I'm going to turn around and they're sitting right next to me again. So we all have those bad days. It's just about recognizing it. It's about honoring the fact that it is a challenging day. Give yourself some space and permission to be in that moment, but keep it a moment. Don't let it sit there for 2, 3, 4, 5 days. Say, I'm only going to let this happen for 1 day or 2 days maximum, something like that. Right.
That's key. That's key. You know what? You are the gatekeeper to your life. And when you accept or decline company, unannounced company, unsatisfactory company, you have every right. When you put your feelings first, when you put your divine self first, then it doesn't matter whose feelings get hurt. Because when you're the gatekeeper of your life, then you get to decide who comes in on any given day, and you don't allow them to disrupt your peace. If you're still dealing with, like myself, with my seasonal sadness, and as the badass Buddha said, depression just wants to pop up whenever, unannounced, you have the right to say, not today, Satan, get behind me. You have the right to say, listen, I'm not up for company today. When they call you and then they call you and then they call you, like back to back to back, you pick up, you're like, what? I'm busy. That's why I didn't answer my phone. And busy could be you sitting down reading a book. Busy could be you sitting out in the sun picking your nose. It doesn't matter what you're doing.
Yeah, it's your time.
It's your
Fuck that.
time, and you must protect it. You
I
gotta
hate when people do that.
Yeah.
I hate when people, what are you doing? Well, why didn't you call me? F you. Like, this is, I'm not on your time. I'm not doing your thing. Please. Oh.
Yeah. So just know that, and just know that, you know what, when you learn to self-trust and self-love and self-value, then it's just so easy. It's the difference between driving on an unpaved road with your brand new tires to going on a paved road. The choice of destination that you choose, it's always up to you. So choose correctly. Don't have expectations of how people should be in your life. Don't assume that they should know you enough to behave a certain kind of way. Take ownership of your life. Keep your boundaries tight, but not so tight that you can't bend occasionally, because there are certain people that we should bend for. There's certain days that we need to bend. So, just keep that in mind. You are the author of your book, which is now, that's my segue into what we're going to say now. So just love yourself and trust yourself enough to know that my daughter has X amount of Gucci and Louis Vuitton bags, and I have no problems getting her Tory Burch hand down, which I love, but that's it. She gives me purses with no name brands on it because I don't like it, but I honor her because that's what makes her unique and different from me. I don't envy anybody who has anything. I envy the time I waste in not achieving what I need to, where I need to be and what I need to achieve in my life. I envy those lazy moments that got the best of me. And you see, it's all in my own circle. And if that's all in my circle, then my boundaries stay tight. You're not allowed to talk to me this way. You're not allowed to approach me this way. My boundaries say back the fuck up on any given day. And I'm okay with that. Go ahead, badass.
No, you were going to talk about our thing,
Yes,
right?
so well, it's all over. Chanel. I don't know if Chanel Real Deal is still on. She's so adorable. This chick, so
She
adorable.
really is. Yes.
So on November 9th, we launch her badass story. I'll let the badass tell you how many authors, but there's different chapters with different authors with different salsa beats, jazz beats, maybe some girls just don't wanna have. Madonna looks ridiculous today, but everybody has a different sound to their chapter, to their story. But they all fall into sync. So the badass Buddha is going to tell you a bit of how to acquire this masterpiece.
I'm sorry, everything froze on my end, so I'm glad that it was still coming through. It was still broadcasting, but on my end, it showed nothing. So yes, there November 9th, we're going to provide links in our social media on how you can purchase the digital download, which by the way is only 99 cents. The actual book itself will come out right before Christmas, which you can also have in your hand and purchase that. But we're going to ask that all of you purchase the digital download and then read some of it, if not all of it, and then write a review on Amazon, because that's going to be really important. And there's 9 of us. There's 9 authors. We all have very different, we're so diverse. It's such a diverse group. It's fantastic stories. And it's just about knowing, like seeing what's happened in our lives and then how we got through it and what we learned. And it's all there for you to be able to know that you're not alone. It's like your story, her badass story is your badass story. You might read some of those stories and go, wow, I totally went through that myself, and the whole point is to say, like, you're not alone, so we're very excited about it. We're going to have an author meet and greet Thursday night on the Dr. Lori channel on Facebook, as well as 2 birds just slammed into my window just
I
now.
heard that, but that's good luck.
Oh my God. And it's going to be also on the YouTube channel. So we'll have links for that as well. So you can check that out. So yeah, that's it. So definitely, I'm proud of these women because they all became very vulnerable and shared stories that some of them never shared before. And it was very enlightening. So I hope you're as pleased as we are with how everybody, what everybody wrote and the reason behind it. So with that,
just, you know what? Inquire within. That's the only words I can leave you with. On your darkest days, inquire within. On your happiest days, inquire within. When you want to feel magically orgasmic about the life you are living and the only body you can live it in, inquire within. Because, everybody should be magically orgasmic.
absolutely. All right. So my lovelies, our lovely tribe who we love so much, because without you, we would just be 2 people talking, and that's it, which is no problem, because Gladiator Guru and I would be
I could talk about everything.
we could entertain ourselves any given day, but we do appreciate you being here so much. So Thursday, we're going to continue this conversation on power. So it's from powerless to powerhouse. With Michelle Wasserman. So enjoy, be there for that. And then Thursday night from 6 to 8:30 is meet the authors, and then get ready for that book release. So thank you so much. And yes, it's phenomenal that you are putting boundaries up, and we're so proud of you for
sharing
that.
that. Yeah, thank you for sharing that, because a lot of people will get angry with you when you try to tell somebody. Maybe if you put boundaries up, they get very defensive towards you. They don't like what you're saying, because then they have to confront a truth about themselves and make a change in their life for the betterment. So when you're spreading that, not everybody's going to want to hear what you say. It's going to like to hear what you're saying. But sometimes don't Just take it in and inquire within and
Yep.
set boundaries for yourself. Like every day, say, today I'm not going to be judgmental. We're all judgmental. We're going to be judgmental until our last breath. We just got to bring it down a couple notches. Make it, but yeah. So with that, thank you so much. I really enjoyed this because we got to be reminded. The badass Buddha and I also have to be reminded of certain things because you know what? Life isn't a straight lane from here to West Bumblefuck. It has curves. It has detours. And in those curves and detours, we're going to get upset. We're going to be judgmental. We're going to be like, what the heck? Always come back to yourself. That's all it is. And with that,
thank you, tribe. And from the Badass Buddha, remember, be you, be real, and be extraordinary.
and from the Gladiator Guru, I just want to remind everybody who purchased with my soft launch of Naturally Orgasmic Cafe Company to please send me a text or instant message your experience with the coffee because I'm going to be doing a video soon. And I thank you all for participating in my soft launch. And with that, remember, breathe in your beauty and breathe out all the bullshit. Namaste.
Namaste, everyone. See you.